Musicfest has been going for 11 years, and I've been involved, I think, for 8 or 9 years now. I can't remember exactly how many years. The most important thing, I think, with any festival is the community aspect of it, and there's kind of 3 parts to that. There's the community that we live in immediately, which is for us the Comox Valley, and how well they support the event and support the idea of cultural tourism within our community. I mean, we're a smaller community in British Columbia, and we're being overrun right now by tourism and by people moving here from other communities that are perhaps a little bit more used to seeing things from all over the world than people from this community. I mean, the scope of what we're doing is fairly new to the Comox Valley. And then there's the larger music community as well, which is worldwide, and in the last 4 or 5 years has become fairly sophisticated in terms of how we all communicate with each other and deal with each other and all that kind of stuff. So there's that part of the community. Then there's the community that actually puts on the festival, which is our staff, our board of directors, and our volunteers. In particular, our volunteer coordinators who look after all the separate crews, from garbage to stage crew to traffic to security to the kitchen crew that feeds all the volunteers. Those coordinators put in days and days of time for the festival, and they really don't get anything back aside from the experience of being involved in the festival. And that's become a family for a lot of us, because so many of us come back every year, and it's like a grand reunion every year where you get to see old friends and catch up with them and all that kind of stuff. So to me, the whole community thing is really what it's all about.
I heard last night when we had our volunteer meeting last night that there are just short of 1,000 volunteers that put this together.
Friday afternoon, about 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I refer to it as the magic happening. The finishing touch goes on the front of the stage. The last piece of fencing is up. The people are up. The smiles are on faces. They're ready to drop, and they're still smiling, waiting for that first act and the real fun to begin. And that's one of the favorite times that I have, is watching the volunteers in that last 2 to 3 hours and make things happen. The people here are very, very dedicated, and they do this from the heart. There's no other way to say it than they do it from the heart. They work hard and they play hard while they're here, and we have lots of fun. We're just here to have fun, and the work is just part of the fun.
David Gerson was a huge part of our festival family. He was our MC for a number of years. He was the host of the Vancouver Island morning CBC show for a number of years. And way beyond that, he was a mentor to me, David was one of the first guys I'd pick up the phone and call whenever I had a problem and needed to talk to someone. So when he passed away, really unexpectedly last year, we decided to name one of the stages after him as a tribute. And the stage that we used to call the Roland stage, we called the David Grierson Memorial Stage this year. And when the CBC got wind of that, they asked if they could help us launch it. So they had the Victoria Afternoon show with Joanne Roberts come and broadcast live from that stage as the kickoff to the David Grierson stage. I never play Musicfest myself because I think it's a real tacky thing to be an artistic director and program yourself as an artist into the program. But in this case, I decided I was going to just for my friend David.
Hey Bob, can you give me just a little less acoustic guitar?
Todd Butler and I both had a lot to do with David as friends, and David helped both of our careers significantly, and like I said, he was a big part of our festival family. So we decided we'd do it, you know, and it ended up being a lot of fun, and hopefully we'll help David's memory carry on from now on, and hopefully we'll remember his spirit and keep that as part of our festival as well.
Hi, I'm Joanne Roberts from the Vancouver Island Musicfest. This is the festival edition of All Points West. We're honored today to be officially dedicating this stage that we're standing on as the David Grierson Community Stage. Our colleague David died suddenly in November of a heart attack at the age of 49. He loved this festival, and I know he's gonna love this show because it has lots of great music in it. Cousin Harley, Gordon Carter, As the Crow Flies, and Todd Butler and Doug Cox. All music, all the time, on All Points West. So let's get started.
One of my favorite sights was David Grierson talking to my friend Miller, and he treated him like royalty. And David did that with everybody. He had time for everybody. He always talked to everybody. But Miller was really, really impressed that he got to talk to David Grierson backstage, an 8-year-old boy talking to his hero. That was big.
And you couldn't find a better MC at all. He always knew the right things to say to control the crowd, and he always knew all the right things to say about festival etiquette, and he knew how to stall really, really well.
The roadies loved him.
Yeah, everybody loved him, and the thing that amazed a lot of people was that he'd come back here year after year and actually remember everyone's names that he would meet, and you know, get to know them and that kind of thing. He wouldn't hide out backstage all the time while he was here, all of that.
I think he enjoyed what was going on around the festival too much to hide out backstage. Todd, what about you? What did David mean to you?
Well, a lot of this.
Okay, we'll go this way. Todd, we'll start with you and then we'll go to Doug.
Well, while I was hiding out backstage.
Maybe that's why he was never there, Todd.
David, every memory I have of David Grierson is of him laughing. We laughed all the time. Our relationship was based on that. You know, we shared an irreverent sense of humor, and what a great guy. He's sorely missed.
Well, it was great to be able to do the tribute to David with Todd. Todd and I used to go out for dinner with David when we were in town in Victoria together, doing shows together and that kind of stuff. And I know it meant the world for Todd to be part of the tribute as well. David was a huge supporter of Todd, the musician and the songwriter, to the point where David, I think, had a lot to do with Todd's success with the CBC. But Todd is a multi-talented guy. He's a brilliant MC. He's been an MC at the festival for a number of years now as well. I think as long as David Gerson was. And he's also a great guitar player and a brilliant comedian. So he's the perfect MC because he's kind of the hometown hero. Everybody knows him and loves him.
He's sweet Canadian, now he's an English lord. We still live in Canada, it's all we can afford. Oh, Conrad Black, so much.
His contribution to the festival has been fantastic that way because not only does he do a lot of MCing for us, but he also is a voice of the Comox Valley, and he's done a number of things behind the scenes as well for the festival.
You know, that's one of the charming things about Doug, is he's humble about this. You know, I mean, he does an amazing thing here, and he's really humble about it. He wants the credit to go to the performers, you know, that come, and to the volunteers that work the festival. I mean, he's the nerve center of it, but it's all the other people that make it happen, that make him look good, you know. And so I think he just wants to deflect some of that glory to them, you know. It's just pretty cool.
Part of my job is to look after the artistic end of the festival. I book all the music and program all the music, all that kind of stuff. That's the artistic director part of the job. And then the executive producer part of the job is that I basically oversee everything that happens in regards to the festival. That doesn't mean that I run everything or anything like that. We have an incredible team of people, from our board of directors down to all the volunteers to the other staff members as well. So I sort of oversee everything that everybody's doing, again with the understanding that there's a lot of people now that certainly know their jobs and they're part of the festival a lot better than I do. And I spend most of my time dealing with the artistic end of it.
As festivals go, and I've been to lots of them, that was an ass-kicking first night. Because I've never been to this festival, I've known Doug for years, but I never knew what his programming skills were like. And he programmed the perfect thing. Like, who would have thought that after the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, you could have brought it higher? And what he not only brought it higher, but brought it to like 2 new levels. And so he knows what he's doing.
You know, I was saying that to Doug. I said, Doug, a lot of times that people have me on their festivals, for the first time, I'm not the closer. I usually play before the closure. And he goes, no, man, I saw your band. Ain't no way in the world could not put you on the last. The energy level. We want to go out with a bang. And then that's how it all happened.
David Wilcox is we're talking about the American singer-songwriter David Wilcox. I met David at a guitar camp up in Alaska that we were both teaching at, and got to realize what an incredible guy he is and what a really unique singer-songwriter he is.
It's sure to take its toll on me. My heart and mind will not agree.
It was a thrill to have him at Musicfest. He doesn't play very many Canadian festivals at all because of the confusion that goes on between him and the very famous Canadian artist David Wilcox. So we just decided to hell with it. We're going to bring him anyways and try and warn people that it's not who they think it is. And he was one of the guys this year for sure that I got a lot of feedback on. People were saying, who is this guy? How come we've never heard him before?
Here with your hand in mine, I'm running out of time, and my heart said, come on, let's go. And my mind saying, I don't know, and the train is
at a festival, you know that everyone who comes is going to find music that absolutely grabs them. And so the fun part is, instead of trying to go wider with what you do, go deeper, be more uniquely yourself. And know that the people that you do reach, you'll reach at a deeper level. And the people that you miss, don't worry about them, because there'll be somebody there to catch them, somebody whose music is just right for them.
It's not just by coincidence that lives are made of accidents. And doesn't it make perfect sense that life turns on a point in time? But I know that this is mine. My heart said, come on, let's go. And my mind said, I don't know. And the train is at the station, but I'm lost in contemplation. And this ticket's only good for just so long. I can't think about it till that train is gone. I'll just get on.
People say, where do you want your music to be in 10 years? And I say, right here, right. I want it to feel surprising. I want it to feel moving, and I want it to be my teacher. And so the music takes off. It's like walking a big dog. You don't know who's walking who. It just takes off. And so now here I am playing music way up north, and there's people who say, it's so confusing. There's this other David Wilcox, and if I had thought that the music would have pulled me up this far, I probably would have changed my name when I had a chance. But
let's test your energy right quick, all right? Love. 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 Okay, so then these questions. What's the proportion of the universe's harmony equal to? Love. What's the voice in us, forcing us to favor truth? Love. What's pain and anguish strain would vanish in the face of? Love. What's the ocean breeze? Why do men get on their knees? Love.
K9 is a real interesting guy who's seen a lot more of the world and a lot more hard parts of the world than most of us would see in a lifetime. He's a very young man, being recognized now as one of the main voices in hip-hop music, and he's from Somalia. His family escaped from Somalia on the last commercial flight that left that country. He went from there to New York, I think, and then from New York to Canada. And he's definitely a voice that a lot of younger people are really turned on to today.
And what's that? Because that's love. You see, there's many things we don't know about love. It's not soft, it's the hardest thing to attain, because it's freedom when you're detained. Leave it to me and I'll explain, because it's there to me like my mommy and daddy and sister and wifey and pens and pads and thoughts of random order that border the same struggle of human truth. Who's to say what my words are? Love! Thank you. I don't do politics. I tell everyone that. Like, my music, I don't think contains politics. If I say something about the state of the world, it is because I'm being honest. I'm observing what it is. I don't belong to politics. So this is a tune that we never recorded, but I don't know what it's called. You can name it, all right? Requires you to be like, so if you want to be free, then no one can fight it. If you want to see the moon, then the clouds can't hide it. You're able to see it in my live shows. What happens in my album is that it finds a connection between two continents that haven't musically been properly introduced. And it's African and North American hip-hop. And I found a way to, with our percussion sensibility, with our melody sensibility from home, and warmth, find a way to intertwine that with the fierceness of hip-hop poetry and connect them in a way that finds home. It's not forced, nothing is out of place, and it's a musician's true fortune when they find something like that, And
people are knowing that it is very fresh and it's real, you know. So.
Well, I think Tofu is easily one of the most interesting acts on the folk festival circuit today. They're the only act that I'm aware of that consists of 3 spoken word artists. One of them is a Métis Canadian, one of them is an American. Both of those guys, Shane and Mike, are world slam poetry champions. And then CR is this unbelievable musician who's kind of like Tom Waits meets a human beatbox. They've got huge hearts, they're incredibly intelligent, they're incredibly significant today because of what they talk about.
I still live there, at the corner of nothing and nowhere. Still stare at drug dealers teaching teenagers the proper way to share dirty needles. All of them asking me for a helping hand while they turn their veins into a sewer system because they think life is shit. They have so many problems I can't begin to list them. They have lists for all the nights their mouths become fists. Fights for all the nights I bring up the lists. I'd be willing to cut my hands off of the wrists and give them away. But they just hand them back to me and say, this isn't money.
There is nothing that we say on stage that we don't believe or try to live by. We are not perfect by any means, but we understand that the world, and this, I don't want this to sound cheesy, but the world needs love, and it's kind of like, okay, so maybe we can go up there and kind of remind everyone in this audience that you need this.
Because the lies just keep leaking through the ceiling, leaving me feeling useless because no, I don't have enough pots, pans, buckets, or hands for all of it. But every now and then, I guess I try to give a shit.
Because they're hip-hop artists, they swear quite a bit. So we actually received more complaints about them performing at the festival this year because of their language than any act we've ever had at the festival.
And if X marks this spot, then treasure the fact that we're the one thing they're not.
Still alive, still standing, still strong. So if the world ever tells you you can't make a difference,
trust me, 6 billion people can be wrong.
At the same time, they sold out of CDs immediately after their main stage performance, and a lot of people cited them as being the highlight of the festival.
and if them are the they the others weren't about, then I doubt you can take them over us plus you over I.
You can't multiply what by Wi-Fi, whatever Ramshackle or some sort of who without realizing the thing they're talking about is you.
They have that amazing craft and clever and fast that keeps us reaching and following and paying attention. But underneath it, there's this solid heart of really good intention, cutting through the crap and just getting to the heart of it, getting to the heart of what matters.
We've got so many borders spread across these lands. People need to stop pointing fingers and start lending hands. We throw up divisions of west side and east side and slide guilt back and forth, as if we never learned when north took on south. As if a mouth was a slave you could shackle. As if a thought was a slave to put in chains. As if you could make them build your dreams and not have them dream of freedom booking passage on underground trains.
It's a real challenge to present the festival as a family-oriented event, but at the same time stay current with what's going on in the world. And I mean, spoken word and hip-hop is really, as far as folk music goes, or the spoken music of the people, is kind of the most alive form of music that there is right now.
They say, if you want a piece of the American dream, you gotta stand up, you gotta fight, scream, and holler. But if that means fighting fictitious wars, I guess I'm glad I'm from Canada, where my dreams are a little bit smaller. I guess I need caller ID to keep track of how many times my conscience is calling me, asking me, how can you still live in America? Well, I guess it takes all types. I'm a yin-yang of stars and stripes. Forget country. I'm a little bit powwow, I'm a little bit bagpipes. And yeah, I'm all American, but I'm not all I can be. There's still room for me to grow, and I will continue to do so even if all that's left is Starbucks and there's nowhere left to go. And I know there are those who would seek to use our blood to oil their machines. Politics is a type of magic done with broken mirrors and smoke screens. You can't put a border between a lie and a fact. Historically, sticks and stones are the only reason bones have ever cracked. But if you want to rip down walls, use words! Even a whisper has more impact.
There was a bit of a dilemma to say, do we have this act here and let them do what they normally do as artists? And I'm committed as the artistic director to never telling the artists what to do. If I can't respect what they do within their art, then I'm not going to hire them, you know. And they came up to me before their performance and said, should we tone it down a bit? And are there certain things you don't want us to do? And I said, no, I mean, I'm hiring you because of your art, and I'm not going to tell you what you can and can't do on our stage.
This is a song about seasonal allergies. It's called Get Down, Airborne Bastard. And it's sort of my plea to Mother Nature to take it easy on us.
Chris Demeanor is this crazy guy from Calgary who's, again, a brilliant spoken word artist and a great songwriter. And part of the appeal of Chris is simply Chris himself and what he has to say and what he does.
Every year, I think I'm in the clear. I think I've outgrown the weakness, the seasonal meekness, the sad result of this genetic default, making my eyes red and raw and my nose a fucking faucet. Spring has sprung, yes, and I'm a believer in the beauty of new growth and the hell of hay fever. Take the potential of enjoying new nature and drain it away into a pocket full of red balled up toilet paper. In between season, reality rings true, confronted with the fact that Mother Nature hates you. How dare she? That's what I ask. How dare she let me suffer after all I've done for her? Action groups, preservation societies, who wants to save what they can't enjoy? Cause while you're pitching your camp stall, I'll be itching my eyeballs. Enjoying your lawn, I'll be downstairs with the fan and the humidifier on. Get down! Airborne bastard, 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 get down!
Nothing's taboo anymore. You know, everything's been heard and everything's been done. That it's the idea that there shouldn't, you know, that there should be territory that can't be explored is a bit ridiculous. What I think is offensive sometimes is when things are done really crassly, or they are done just to shock or effect, but there's not really any attempt to have anything kind of thought-provoking in it. Then yeah, that's a bit stupid, but it still shouldn't be stopped or anything. Like, I really don't believe in sort of stopping anything. I think even when someone goes totally overboard and says something really vile and disgusting and violent and weird, I appreciate the reaction that it gets. I think it's, you know, it makes people think about, Jesus, you know, I've thought about stuff like that. Because everyone does. Everyone thinks about truly sick stuff once in a while. Once in a while to hear it expressed in music or art is okay. I wouldn't want it all the time, but yeah, no, nothing's taboo for sure.
There are other people that are parents, though, that feel very strongly about auditing what their kids are exposed to in terms of art and music. So that's a real challenge, and I see that being a real challenge in the future for all the festivals now, is how current do you go in terms of trying to create a young audience for the festival, and with the current artists that are actually the ones that are significant and are really saying something in their music. How far do you edit what you present at your festival for that reason? I'm not sure what the answer is yet, but I'm hoping that there's enough people out there that respect that they won't stop coming to it because we're presenting artists that are a bit on the edge, you know?
Despite whatever his musical preferences are, and despite what he plays, he's just open to stuff, and he's really willing to take a good listen to things and really think about what his audience would like and appreciate, you know, as opposed to just what he likes, and that's a really refreshing and nice thing to see in somebody. You know?
Doug is one of the few artistic directors that is a musician. Most of the artistic directors aren't musicians. They're very great music programmers and they're very involved in music, but Doug is a picker, and so he programs in a different way, and I get he has a different relationship with these artists than a regular artistic director would have, which is why I think there's there's a magical thing happening.
To see the way he has shaped this festival, to me, it's really fun because it has that wonderful combination of surprising elements that when you hear them all together, they each complement each other, and the whole thing, all different kinds of people. There's this sense of harmony with a capital H.
I think for a lot of people, that's the little nugget in the whole weekend is finding an act they haven't seen before that they really, really enjoy.
Salil Bhatt is he's the Mohan Veena player. He's the son of Vishwa Mohan Bhatt, who is an Indian master who invented an instrument called the Mohan Veena, and it's a lap acoustic slide guitar with 20 sitar drone strings under it. So it's like playing sort of a curry-flavored blues.
Salil Bhatt, from a personal level, for me, that was probably the thrill of the whole festival, was to have him come to our festival this year. Partly because I play the lap slide guitar, and he is one of the masters of this style of Indian slide guitar playing. Salil brought me an instrument from India this year that I was able to purchase from him and set it up for me and gave me some lessons and all that kind of stuff. So to study with one of the masters was an absolute honor. I learned a lot from him this year on how to present Indian music. I mean, one of the challenges that I think any festival artistic director would tell you is to bring real music from other parts of the world and learn how to present those people in a way that's very respectful to their culture as well. It's sometimes very difficult because you might think they're asking for something that you would think is kind of prima donna-ish, when in fact it's really just has nothing to do but with their respect for their music and how it is supposed to be presented. And from the perspective of an artistic director, that's a really great learning experience as well. And I can happily tell you, as an exclusive, that he's coming back this year with his father to play at the festival.
Security, I think everybody's going to work really well this year. I don't think it's going to be an issue with anything. Oh yeah. We've got security in uniform, we've got all our volunteers, Doug's on a golf cart, you know, it's great.
We need your help with this. And what we're asking you to do to start off with is to please send us an email, care of info@islandmusicfest.com, and let us know your thoughts. Let us know your experiences in the campground, any ideas that you have that we can do to fix our festival, because we sure don't want to lose it because of what's going on. So please be patient with us and help us out with any ideas you have. If you've had negative experiences, we want to hear about them. And if you've had positive experiences, we want to hear about those too. We'll be making this announcement throughout the day, folks. This is something we need to fix and we need to respond to quickly. And we are taking it very seriously. So please have patience and give us your thoughts.
Pretty routine every year is young children who'd rather come in to steal coolers, have alcohol than listen to the music.
There's going to be some changes for sure. The big changes are going to be the challenges that we have now with success in terms of some basic things, like we have to take our security more seriously. We have to make sure that the people in our campground are cared for properly.
The volunteers, especially the girls, they could be down here checking for liquor and stuff like that, checking tickets. Don't need uniform guys doing that. Uniform guys are getting paid. They should be out there earning their money where the trouble zones are and keeping these kids. These are not young kids. These are 20-year-old teenagers.
It's just we've always relied on our community to make sure that the responsibilities that we have towards our public are looked after.
And it's great, and I'm glad that the kids are having fun and can be free here, but you need some restraint.
How old are you guys?
16.
And you need a chaperone to be here?
Supposedly, yeah.
Isn't that retarded?
Musicfest has seen better days.
Yeah.
It really has.
Yeah, have you been here for a couple
Yeah.
of years? And it hasn't been like this?
It gets progressively more securitized every year. Like before, you could just go whatever. Once you're in, you're in. But then last year, they started like guarding the gates and shit.
Well, it's huge now. It's so far beyond what it used to be.
Let's hear it. Give it up here.
Yeah, it used to be so local. It was a big love-in, you know, and you come here and everybody you knew one way or the other. Now we come here and, like last night, all those campers just blew our mind. Like, where are they Valley people? They can't be. They're from, we don't know where they're from, but it's pretty interesting how, you know, how it's just grown.
There's a question out there. Is this little music fest getting too big? What do you think about that?
Nope.
Okay.
We're going to have growing pains just like teenagers.
Yeah.
Just like any other organization, we're going to have growing pains, and we'll get them solved, and we'll become bigger. If that's what has happened, we'll become bigger, and we'll take care of it. There are some problems, definitely.
Well, the issue always is people. You want people to come to your event, but at the same time, when you get too many people, so you get friction. And one of the issues we're going to be working with is better control with respect to those that are camping here overnight. It seems that the whole day goes perfect, all the stages go very well, everyone has a great time, but there's a window of time between maybe 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock in the morning in the camping area where, you know, things go on a little bit later than they should, a little bit more noise than they should, and so that's something we're going to be working on for next year.
Now that we're becoming really successful and being known as the place to be on our weekend, and that the Comox Valley is growing so much, we're starting to get more yahoos, quite frankly.
Texas, y'all. Well, I ain't got nobody. Baby, I can call my own.
Otherwise, we're not going to let it get much bigger. Well, we're not going to let it get any bigger, actually. It's big enough as it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, Campbell.
It's a lovely night, beautiful evening. Time is slipping away. It's getting late. You should be leaving, but I've got something to say.
Well, Camosun is kind of the one of the young Afro-American blues singers that there are. There's really only a handful of them, and he was one of the guys from his generation, I think, that just kind of stepped out and said, yeah, the blues is cool again. We can go back to being blues musicians and be proud of that.
We've been friends, close companions. There's nothing to conceal. So I'm letting go my little secret to tell you how I feel. So please don't go. Let's get closer, little bit closer. Turn the lights down low. Need to let you know that I'm so in love with you. Getting closer is all I want to do.
He goes beyond the blues. He's not a true traditional blues man. His songs are more current than that. And I think he's sort of, if you looked at Taj Mahal, for an example, he's kind of the next generation acoustic blues man.
Oh, please don't go. Let's get closer, little bit closer. Turn the lights way down low. I need to let you know that I'm so in love with you. I'm so in love with you. I'm so in love with you. Getting closer is all I want to do. Don't go. How y'all doing? That's good. Feels good. Turn the lights way down low. Need to let you know I'm so in love with you. Getting closer is all I want to do.
That's good luck, right? Mr. Saturday dance, early crowded the floor. Go to bed without you, don't get around much anymore. Gonna visit a club, got as far as the door. They don't ask me about you.
One of the things that's really unique about our event is that we're a campground festival. We're in a smaller center. People come to our festival, they stay there for the entire weekend. It's often the term community of choice is used for a whole weekend. You sign on and you say, I want to be part of this community for 3 or 4 days. I think that's a little different than the city festivals where often people show up for one day. They know they're going to go home to their own beds that night. So the sense of ownership is a little bit different. It's a little more intense with a campground festival as well.
It's a family event when it happens. We get together for the 10 days that about 10 days that it takes us to do this festival. And it's a good time. It's a party from the time we start to the time we end. And we work all day and we party from midnight till 4 in the morning.
It's still a gathering of all the old hippies that used to be here. You know, you look around, you find your friends here. You know they're going to be here somewhere. So
Yeah.
it's a great
They're just
time.
lost in the crowd.
All the people that reunite after a year away, you see somebody that you haven't seen for a year. They're from Edmonton, they're from Vancouver. Sometimes you have people come down from the Yukon for the time to volunteer for just a little bit of. We spend a lot of time with people we haven't seen for about a year, and it's like meeting old friends and family, and it's really a camaraderie of people that put this together.
My name's Diana Page, and I'm the coordinator of the kids area at Musicfest. And we actually, we have quite an area here for kids of all ages, just so that when parents come to the festival, they have a place where the kids can actually enjoy themselves, and everyone winds up enjoying the festival more because the kids don't have to sit still all day long just listening to music. It's an honor to sort of do this for the kids and have the parents sort of say that this has made their festival experience really, really good. And I've heard that it's an excellent kids area. They've never seen anything quite like it.
Well, when I first moved to the Valley, I just heard how amazing it was, and my partner was like, yeah, we should go to Musicfest, so we got tickets, and we came, loved it, and then the following year, someone approached me and said, do you want to volunteer massage backstage? I said, great, I'll do it. So it's a great experience.
And this is why I became a musician. It has nothing to do with, all the glory and the parties and, all the money. There's nothing to do with that. There's plenty of it, let me tell you. But it's the free back rubs. Oh, bring it on.
I've been to Musicfest before. It's a great event, and when the opportunity came to actually get closer to some of the artists and be able to talk to them and work with them and be part of this great event, it was a rare opportunity, I thought, and I jumped at it, and happy to be here. I know some of the other massage therapists have in the past said, well, we have to dedicate 4 hours a day each of the days, and that's I could make a lot of money doing that, but they don't get it. It's not about making the money, it's about being here with these great people, and it's a huge experience. It's really worth it.
I mean, our basic philosophy behind Musicfest, just aside from all the politics and the business, is that we're inviting people to our home for a party. If you were having someone at your house, how would you treat them? You're not gonna invite someone to your house and then expect them to pay for everything, or say go sit in that corner until it's time for me to talk to you.
People just come up all the time and are just being overtly helpful. It's like they understand that musicians are completely useless and disorganized and can't take care of themselves. It's like, do you have your badge? Do you have your hotel key? And I'm like, yeah. Or, oh no, I don't. Well, I'll help you find it. Like, people are really, really cool that way.
Here, we really felt like artists, and the main formula to get an artist to shine is to make it to where he doesn't really have to think about anything else at the gig site other than his craft. And you guys are really successful at doing that.
This is an absolutely charming festival. Very there's already like an amazing family atmosphere backstage, and that's scary good.
How much anymore? Don't get around
The whole philosophy of our festival is that we're putting on a party, mostly for our community, but we're inviting people to this party. So to me, the whole community thing is really what it's all about.
Every morning, listeners to OTI would know that if you got up early enough, you were rewarded with hearing David's morning epiphany.
And he wrote one about the Vancouver Island Musicfest. You want to share it with us?
Yeah, the words of David about Vancouver Island Musicfest. I'm not sure exactly what year he wrote, but here goes. You could be forgiven if you mistook a music festival for some kind of nirvana. Thousands gathered in one place who need to eat, sleep, and live for a short period of time. A microcosm, if you will. There are those in charge, most of whom no one remembers electing or really cares. Those who serve, those who consume. So why does what happened inside the gates feel so different from what goes on outside? Both depend on people helping people from all walks of life. Both have to turn a profit so they can come back next year. Perhaps what's missing is a common purpose. Thousands know what they want this weekend from Island Music Fest. Will they know that same common purpose when they leave those gates?
I was standing at a truck stop just outside of Hope, heading eastward toward the prairies. They were calling me back home. I had 7 good years in Vancouver. I gave it all that I could give. The city rat race may be a lifestyle, it just ain't my way to live. It's just a feeling, it's like a rainbow. Try to touch it and it's gone. There are storm clouds on the horizon, there is shelter on the farm. And when the freeways turn into back roads, I had tears in my eye. There ain't nothing like thunder rolling off a prairie sky. I made good time through the Kamloops. I was heading for the Rogers Pass. Stopped for coffee in Sorrento. Soon the miles were rolling past. The light was fading when I hit Canmore. I can't believe how it has grown. When I saw the lights at Red Deer, I knew I was almost home. It's just a feeling, it's like a rainbow. Try to touch it and it's gone. There are storm clouds on the horizon, but there is shelter on the farm. And when the freeways turn into back roads, I had tears in my eye. There ain't nothing like thunder rolling off a prairie sky.
One of the magical things about Music Fest is that it's run as a world-class festival, but on a kind of a smaller level than most of the festivals that run like ours does. We're still a small community festival that's run like a world-class festival, and I want to hang on to that as much as possible.
And so I wonder as I sit here just how it is it came to be that I find myself back on the West Coast, staring out across the sea. As though I'll always be a farm boy, well, I guess that I have grown. I have found a new belonging. The island calls me home. It's just a feeling, it's like a rainbow. Try to touch it and it's gone. There are storm clouds on the horizon. Now I know where I belong. 'Cause when I saw her, Vancouver Island, I had tears in my eyes.